section 3.2 today, which is the first type of transformations that you guys are going to talk about. They're called translations, which remember from 3.1 notes, okay, we also call the slide. So remember, notation for pre-image is A, and then notation for image is A prime. And remember, we say this as A prime. Okay, so that's what this line means right here is prime. So the notation for translations is going to be a capital T, A comma B with these brackets on the end. A means we're moving right if it's positive and left if it's negative. B is plus up, so positive if it goes up and negative if it goes down. A is like your X value and B is like your Y value. Okay, so X, remember we move left and right, and Y we move up and down on the graph. Okay, so the first couple problems we're going to look at doesn't involve a graph, but we will be getting to graphing and what this looks like on a graph. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is write the translation rule to describe the translation. Okay, so here's the notation that we have to use. So it tells me here that I go 6 units to the right. So that means our A is positive 6 and 4 units down. And since it's going down, that means it's going to be negative 4. Okay, so I'm going to write this as T 6 comma negative 4. Okay, which goes off our notation here and our rules right here. Same thing for B, 3 units to the left. So since I'm going left, that means it's going to be negative 3. And 5 units up, B is going to be positive 5. So I'm going to write this as capital T, 3, comma, negative 3, comma 5. Okay, so now we're going to use the translation rule. They're giving us the translation, okay, and then we are going to find the image. Okay, so this is the pre-image, and then we're going to find what the image is of B of 4, 2. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take 4 minus 5. Okay, and we get that from here. So I'll have B prime. Okay, because that's going to be the image. Four minus 5 is going to be negative 1. Then I have 8 and 2 here, so I'm going to take 2 plus 8, which is going to give me 10. Okay, so this is the image here. So again, I did 4 minus 5 to get negative 1, and I did 2 plus 8 to get 10. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing here on the same set of ordered pairs. Okay, so I'm going to take 21 minus 5. Okay, so 21 minus 5. And here this is D, so this is going to be D prime. 21 minus 5 is 16. And then I'm going to do 5 plus 8. Okay, and I got 5 plus 8. Okay, which here is going to give me 13. So I'm taking these first numbers, and then since this is a negative 5, I'm subtracting 5. And here I have 5, and since this is a positive, I'm adding 8. So I'm taking 21 minus 5 and 5 plus 8. We're going to do the same thing here, but this is H. Okay, so I'm going to take 4 minus 5. Again, 4 minus 5, and it's a minus because it's a negative 5 here. And then I'm going to do negative 6 plus 8. And again, this is a negative 6, and then I'm adding 8. And here this is h, so it's going to be h prime. 4 minus 5 is negative 1, and negative 6 plus 8 is 2. Our last one here, we're going to do the same thing. So 0 is my first number, minus 5. So again, 0 minus 5. And then I'm going to take 2 plus 8. So this is going to be j prime. 0 minus 5 is negative 5, and 2 plus 8 is 10. Okay, so we use the translation rules to find the image of these numbers, or I'm sorry, of these letters right here, of these points. So now we're going to write the rule for the translation, then complete the statement using the description of the translation. Okay, so let's go ahead, let's take a look at the first one. So here we're going to compare A and we're going to compare B. Okay, so here, how did I get from 2 to 4? Well, the only way to do that is I'm going to add 2. Okay, so my translation rule for A I know is going to be 2. Here to get from 0 to 1, I know I'm going to add 1. So here my translation rule for B is 1. Okay, so my rule here is 2, 1. That's my translation rule. Okay, so I know here that 4, 2 will translate to, well, my translation rule is going to be 4 plus 2, because I got 4 plus 2, and then I'm going to take 2 plus 1, and I got that from 2 plus 1. So this will translate to 4 plus 2 is 6, and 2 plus 1 is 3. Okay, we're going to do the same thing here. First come up with the rule, and then use that to translate the given point. So here, how do I get from 2 to negative 2? Okay, to get from 2 to negative 2, I'm subtracting 4. Okay, so 2 minus 4 is negative 2. So that means my first rule here for A is negative 4. Here to get from 0 to negative 1, I subtract 1. So my translation rule here is negative 4, negative 1. So I'm going to do the same thing here and translate this point using this rule. So I'm going to take 4 minus 4, okay, which will give me 0. Then I'm going to take 2 minus 1, which will give me 1. Okay, so using my translation rule, I translated this point, negative 4, negative 1. So now we're going to write the translation rule based off the graph. So we're just going to focus in here on one point. Okay, so I'm going to look and see. Remember here, this is my image because this is Q. Okay, so remember here, Q, is the pre-image. That's before the translation. And Q prime is the image, which means after translation, which I'm going to shrink this here in a second. Okay, so how did I get from Q to Q prime? So we're just focusing in on one point. So here I went up 2. Okay, so I know my A value is going to be, Here, we'll do the whole thing. I'm going to go up 2, and then I go over positive 1. So I'm going up and to the right. Okay, remember my A value. So your A value, so let me copy down the rule real quick again. Because remember we have T, A, B. Okay, and remember here, your A, if it's right, it's positive, and left is negative. Okay, so here I went over 1. So that means my A value is going to be positive 1. Okay, and then remember your B value is up, positive, down, negative. Okay, and here my B value, I went up 2. So that's positive 2. So that's going to be my B value. Okay, let's try another one. So using this same information here, using this same information here, okay, we're going to write the rule. Let me move myself so we can see it. Okay, let's focus in on 1 point here. So we're going to focus in on 1 point. Okay, let's go ahead and let's focus in on S. Okay, so how did I get from S to S prime? Remember pre-image, image. This is after the translation. So I know I'm going to have T, and I need to find A and B. Okay, so here, to get from S to S prime, I went up 1, 2, 3. And then it looks like I went to the left 2. So that's negative 2. Okay, so remember your A is moving left or right. Here I went left 2, so that's negative 2. And my B is if I move up or down, and here I went up 3. So my B value is 3. Okay? Now what we're going to do on these last 2 problems is using the graph. Okay, so here figure ABC has vertices A, 4, 2, B, 2, 6, C, 6, 6. We're going to sketch ABC first and then draw its image after our translation rule. So let's just go ahead and sketch ABC first. Okay, and we can do that all here in red. Okay, so let's plot ABC. So A, I'm going to go to the right 4, up 2. A. B, I'm going to go over 2, up 6. B. And C, I'm going to go over 6, up 6. C. Okay, so we got a nice little triangle here. Okay, so now we're going to use our translation rule to find A prime, B prime, and C prime and sketch that. Okay, so here our translation rule is negative 6. So what I'm going to do is take 4 minus 6, okay, which is negative 2. And I got that from here. And then I'm going to take 2 minus 2. Okay, and 2 minus 2 is going to be 0. So now I'm going to sketch. I don't want to do it in orange, it's too similar. Let's do some sort of like green. So now I'm going to sketch A prime, which is negative 2, 0, which is right on the x-axis. Okay, so A prime. We're going to do the same thing here. So I'm going to take 2 minus 6, same thing here, okay, which is equal to negative 4. And I'm going to take 6 minus 2. Okay, which 6 minus 2 is 4. So now we're going to sketch B prime, which is negative 4, 4. Okay, now we're going to use the same rule here. So 6 minus 6, which is 0, and 6 minus 2, which is 4. So now we're going to plot 0, 4. Oh, I forgot to label B prime, my bad. And C prime. Okay, and there is our triangle after it is being translated. So remember, translated means a slide. All I did here, guys, with each point is I moved it to the left 6 and down 2. So I went to the left 6, down 2. To the left 6, down 2. To the left 6, down 2. That's what I did with every point. I picked it up and I moved it to the left 6 and down 2. We're going to do the same thing here. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's plot our pre-image A, B, C, D. Okay, so A is 0, negative 5. B is 0, negative 2. Oh, sorry, I don't want to call that B prime, just call it B. Negative 3, 2. And negative 2, negative 4. Okay, so we have a nice little four-sided figure here, which we call a quadrilateral. So now we're going to take each point. So guys, really you could do this one of two ways. If this part up here confused you, really what you're doing is you're taking each point and moving it to the right 5 and up 1. So a new way I could do this is I could take A and I can move it to the right 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and up 1. And call this A prime. And then I can go ahead and label this point if I wanted, and this point is 5, negative 4. So you can do it that way. Let me do the same thing with B, and then I'll use the method we used above with C and D. So again, here with B, I'm taking each point and moving it to the right 5 and up 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up 1. Call it B prime. And this point right here is 5, negative 1. Or you can use our method that we used above. Okay, which is here, I'm going to take negative 3 plus 5 and 2 plus 1. Negative 3 plus 5 is 2. 2 plus 1 is 3. So then I'm going to go plot 2, 3. And then same thing here. Negative 2 plus 5, which is 3. And negative 4 plus 1, which is negative 3. So I'm going to go plot 3, negative 3. Okay, but again, all I did was take each point and move it to the right 5, up 1. So either method will work. It doesn't matter. Okay, so now you guys are going to go ahead and try 3.2 practice. Good luck, and let me know if you have any questions. Have a good day.